We have the Las Vegas Raiders taking on the New England Patriots. This is your Week 1, 2025 prediction and preview video. Hit subscribe if you're new. Also hit the like button. Let's start off with the home team, the New England Patriots. A brand new coaching staff compared to last season. You had Coach Mayo as your head coach and Alex Van Pelt as your offensive coordinator. This year, you bring in Mike Vrabel, who's a former coach of the year with the Tennessee Titans, was a very good head coach with the Tennessee Titans, and your brand new offensive coordinator and Josh McDaniels. Now, he is a former offensive coordinator with this organization. Some of his best moments in his coaching career came with him coaching with this organization when he had Tom Brady as a starting quarterback and Bill Belichick as the head coach. Drake May is entering year 2. And the biggest questions for the Patriots coming off of last season is wide receiver production and offensive line protection. And how good is Drake May actually? Now, Drake May last year had a lot of good moments and had some bad moments as well for a rookie quarterback. That's typical. But the offensive line protection was abysmal last year. And you're going against Mad Max Crosby, one of the best pass rushers in the game. That's why in the first round, you selected Will Campbell to help out Drake May long term. And you have Morgan Moses at the right tackle position. You signed him in free agency from the New York Jets. This should be a very good tackle duo as the season progresses. Will Campbell is questionable for this matchup, but he's on pace to play in this game. Be on lookout for him as a rookie. He may go out there, he may dominate early on in the season, or it may take some time. But I do believe that Will Campbell will be one of the better left tackles in football. He just needs the time to prove himself. You have Mike at the right guard position, Garrett Bradbury at the center position, and Jared Wilson at the left guard position. So it's pretty much a revamped offensive line. You have to go out there and protect Drake May at all costs and move him away from Max Crosby. It's only so much that you can do against an elite pass rusher like him. You're not expecting for your tackles to go out there every single play and to hold him back. So to go against his pass rush, run away from him. Have Drake May go out there, roll out to the right side of the field. Have Drake May go out there and use his athleticism in the open field. And we have seen Josh McDaniels coach quarterbacks before like this. We've seen him go out there and coach up Cam Newton a few years back. For the first half of the season, Cam Newton looked very good. Dealt with the pandemic situation. He took a huge dip. We've seen Josh McDaniels also go out there and coach up Tim Tebow in the past. Tim Tebow was not a great quarterback in the NFL, but he has experience with going out there and working with quarterbacks that have elite athleticism. But Drake May and that rocket arm that he has, will he have enough weapons on the outside to take those deep shots down the field? You signed Stephon Diggs in free agency. He's easily the best wide receiver on the team right now, but he's coming off an ACL injury. In my opinion, he's still one of the best route runners in the game. But behind Stephon Diggs, you have Pop Douglas. Had a very good year last year. He's a solid number 2. But they're going to need DeMario Douglas and Kayshawn to continue to step up in that role behind Stephon Diggs. But you want to lean on Stephon Diggs in this matchup against the Las Vegas Raiders because they have a lot of young cornerbacks on the back end of their defense, and having veteranship on the outside with Stephon Diggs and having Hunter Henry at the tight end spot, that can make life easier on Drake May. Josh McDaniels is most definitely going to make life easier on Drake May because of the experience that he has had calling plays in this league over the last 10 to 15 years. The running back situation here, Travion Henderson, you drafted him in the NFL draft this year. A lot of people are comparing him to be that next James White type of running back, a man that can catch the football at the backfield, that can run in between the tackles. Travion Henderson right now is listed as the number 2 running back on this roster behind Ramondre Stevenson. Ramondre Stevenson, in my opinion, is still the best physical runner that they have. Last year, ball security was a huge question for him. He had a huge fumbling problem to where Coach Mayo would come out and basically call him out and say, you know what, we're going to go into a different direction, only to give Ramondre Stevenson majority of the carries the next week. You can lean on Ramondre Stevenson, give him 15 to 20 carries in this matchup, but get Travion Henderson involved. His first play in the preseason went for a huge kick return and a matchup. He has blazing speed and he's the most explosive player in that backfield. But letting Ramondre Stevenson come down when it's 3rd and 2 or 4th and short and you're in the goal line situation, go with Ramondre Stevenson. With the exception of last year, he has been a consistent running back with the New England Patriots, and that's why he has a healthy contract that is still with this roster over the next few years. Last year was terrible, but it's a brand new season. working the ball security, fumbles in the open field, and he should be a better player and should have a more productive season this year behind a revamped offensive line. And those wide receivers have to step up in this matchup, but let Drake May use his legs and let him use his athleticism in the open field and avoid Max Crosby at all costs. You do have Malcolm Koonce playing on the opposite side. He's coming off a knee injury. He missed all last season. We'll talk about that more when we talk about the Raiders side of things. But you do have other pass rushers to worry about outside of Max Crosby, but you cannot let him go out there and wreck this game. Stick with the run game. Take what the defense gives you if you are Drake May, and take those underneath shots over and over again. As far as the defense with the Patriots, we got a huge bomb that came out today. Christian Gonzalez is out for this matchup. He got injured in practice. That is a major hole in your secondary, but you went out in free agency and you did bring in a very good cornerback in Carlton Davis. Carlton Davis has experience being a number one cornerback in the NFL in the past. Carlton Davis is a very good corner. It's going to be very interesting to see the type of defense that the Patriots are going to run, whether it's more press man coverage, cover one, or even just split safety looks. When they have Christian Gonzalez on the field, they run a lot of press man coverage because he's one of the best cornerbacks in football. But with him not being able to play, that's a huge blow to their secondary. Now you have to depend on Carlton Davis, and the same with Marcus Jones. And be on lookout for Jacoby Myers. He's a former Patriot. He's a very good wide receiver. He's not going to go out there and make huge plays like a Tyreek Hill or a Justin Jefferson, but he can go out there and he can make some plays in crucial situations. And they have one of the best receiving tight ends in football in Brock Bowers. That's what I'm really concerned about for the Patriots here. When you look at them in the linebacker position, Robert Swain, he's not known for his coverage ability. He's a very good run stopper. The same with Christian Ellis. Can they go out there and can they cover Brock Bowers in space? In the safety position, you have Kyle Duggar. You cut Jabril Peppers a week ago. You have to depend on Kyle Duggar a lot in this matchup, and the same with Jalen Hawkins as well. When they go against a tight end like Brock Bowers, you cannot let him break open this game. The Las Vegas Raiders last year, they were in the bottom of the league in terms of rushing efficiency and rushing yards. That may not be the case this time around because they're bringing in a brand new offensive coordinator in Chip Kelly. And what does he love to do? Run the football at the highest degree. And last year, the Patriots, they struggled immensely to stop the run. Coach Mayo came out and he called his own defensive players soft. A lot of it was because the defensive system was not good enough last year. And Christian Barmore missed the majority of last season dealing with a blood clot issue. Well, he's fully healthy right now. The last time that he played a full season, he was one of the best pass rushers up front, and he's an elite run stopper. Be on lookout for him to have a huge game in this matchup. You have Milton Williams, who you signed in free agency from the Philadelphia Eagles. He was one of the best defensive linemen last year in the NFC. Amazing run stopper and can get to the quarterback on a consistent basis. And you have Keon White. You want to make the Las Vegas Raiders one-dimensional. Last year, Geno Smith, for 10 straight weeks in the NFL, led the league in passing attempts. He had a lot of interceptions last year and a lot of complete turnovers. That's what you want in this matchup. Make Ashton Jeanty a non-factor. Take away Jacoby Myers and Brock Bowers. As a matter of fact, take away Brock Bowers at all costs and force Geno Smith to test out the rest of your secondary if you can get home as much as possible. If you make the Raiders one-dimensional, that will work out into your favor with these free agent acquisitions that you made this year. But the Patriots, they're set up for a bright future for this entire season with having a complete coaching staff with Mike Vrabel and Josh McDaniels calling those offensive plays. Now let's talk about the Las Vegas Raiders here. They have a brand new head coach and Pete Carroll, a brand new starting quarterback in Geno Smith. Like I said a couple minutes ago, running the football is the key here for the Las Vegas Raiders. You selected Ashton Jeanty in the first round. And usually when teams select a running back within the top 10 or even in the first round in general, they're going to try to run the football as much as possible against the opposing team. It may be tough because when I look at this offensive line, you have Colton Miller. I'll say that he's their best offensive lineman right now. He's been very consistent at the left tackle position. Jackson Powers Johnson has some up and down moments last year with the Las Vegas Raiders. He's at the right guard position, and you have DJ Glaze. The talent, they're so young. But can they develop in this matchup against players like Milton Williams and the same against someone like Christian Barmore? It's going to be a lot of misdirection and a bunch of counterplays with Chip Kelly. He comes over from the Ohio State University. He ran Quinshon Judkins, and the same with Travion Henderson. He ran those players into the ground every single week. They ran their offense off the running backs and then opened up the rest of the offense with Will Howard, and the same with Jeremiah Smith on the outside. Geno Smith is coming over from the Seattle Seahawks. For majority of last season, the Seahawks refused to commit to the run. In order to get the most out of Geno Smith, and Pete Carroll knows this, they made the NFL playoffs in year one with him being the full starter with Seattle. They ran the football at a high level with Kenneth Walker III, and the same with Zach Charbonnet. You have to run this offense through Ashton Jeanty, work off of play action, and target out that secondary with Christian Gonzalez being out for this matchup. It opens up those wide receivers and the possibilities that you have on the outside in terms of getting those big plays over and over again. Trey Tucker is a very underrated deep threat. Be on lookout for him up the seams. He's been a very good playmaker. He's been held back by bad quarterback play, but he can easily go out there and get you a 50-yard touchdown if you put the ball on the money for him. He has that electric speed, and usually with speed wide receivers, they may get 2 or 3 big plays a game. But even if they aren't getting those big plays, you can use them as a decoy down the field. So underneath, players like Jakobi Meyers, they're wide open. And the same with Brock Bowers, they can have those one-on-one situations. It really comes down to what the Patriots want to do on the defensive end, whether it's more zone or man coverage. And I expect they'll try to flip between the two. But in this matchup, test out that secondary. Early on in this matchup, run a bunch of quick game. After you get done running the football with Ashton Jeanty, force the Patriots to commit and stick with the run game at all costs. And we also know this about Pete Carroll. Early on with Russell Wilson, they had Marshawn Lynch. They ran the air out the football pretty much every single week, and they leaned on their defense to help them out. But you have a veteran quarterback in Geno Smith who has had a lot of good moments over the last 3 years of his career with Seattle. You don't want Geno Smith to go out there and have 30 pass attempts in this matchup. 20 to 25 pass attempts should be good enough in this matchup for the Raiders. But running the football has to be your identity here, and taking those one-on-one shots with Brock Bowers. Brock Bowers was the best receiving tight end statistically last year in football. He had Aiden O'Connell and Gardner Minshew throwing him the football. Geno Smith is better than both of those players. I imagine that Brock Bowers will go out there and be the number one target yet again for this season. Outside of Trey Tucker, Jakobi Meyers, and the same with Brock Bowers, you do have Deontay Thornton Jr. Solid wide receiver in the preseason, had a lot of good moments. Let's see what he can do in this matchup against the New England Patriots. You also have Raheem Mostert in the backfield. Raheem Mostert is known for his speed. His last year with the Miami Dolphins wasn't the best, but the Dolphins were dealing with so many injuries on the offensive line. Injuries to Tua, to where they just stacked the box a lot. You now put Raheem Mostert behind Ashton Jeanty. You miss one tackle, he still has that blazing speed in the open field. He can get a big play. And if you can get those type of big plays on the Patriots and you can make this a physical football game, this could be an easy game for the Las Vegas Raiders, but that's going to be hard to do with the defensive front and the head coach that you're facing with New England. As far as the defense for the Raiders here, the Las Vegas Raiders, they have a game record in Max Crosby. Malcolm Koonce is returning. Malcolm Koonce missed all last season dealing with that knee injury. But the last time that we saw him play a full season, he was a consistent edge rusher playing opposite side of Max Crosby. He had 8.5 sacks. We all know what Max Crosby can do. I put him in the same conversation with game records like TJ Watt, and the same with Myles Garrett. He's the best defensive player on this team. He is the face of the Las Vegas Raiders. A phenomenal run stopper, an excellent pass rusher. But can you get more production out of players outside of him? He garners so much attention that you think that it will be easy for guys like Malcolm Koonce to come off the edge. But with him missing all last season, I am a bit concerned about him. He may come out a little bit slow. Tyree Wilson, you drafted him in the first round. So far, he has been a bust, but he can change that this season. We've seen him in the past have solid moments, but it needs to be more consistent. Coming out of Texas Tech a few years back, he was known for bending the edge, stopping the run, and being this freakish athletic talent. He needs to step up for this entire season and make your mark week 1 against the New England Patriots. You have Will Campbell, who is a rookie. Make life hard on him, and the same with Morgan Moses, even though Morgan Moses is still a solid right tackle to have. You can generate a lot of pressure with different twists and different stunts up front, and this is a Raiders defense that has been very good over the last 2 to 3 years, especially last season. with Patrick Graham calling defensive plays. He's returning this year. He's one of the best defensive minds in football that you can have from a pressure standpoint. At the linebacker position, Jermaine Pratt, Landon Roberts, very good linebackers in terms of stopping the run and blitzing up the middle as well. They're not going to go out there and do a lot for you in the pass situation. But Landon Roberts, when it was third and short last year with the Steelers, he kept coming up over and over again and making big-time plays. That's what you want in this game. You want to put a lot of pressure on Drake May and force him to beat you with his arm consistently. Force him to make those tough throws over and over again, because last year he did have problems with his accuracy. The footwork was a bit erratic, but a lot of that came because of bad offensive line protection. If you could force Drake May into those uncomfortable situations, you may be working with something. And do not be surprised if Drake May goes out there, he throws off his back foot, and it's a perfect ball. He's that type of quarterback. But put that pressure on him and watch out for Travion Henderson coming out of the backfield. Your tackling has to be on point in this matchup. And the linebackers, they have to do a very good job in terms of covering Hunter Henry across the middle. And the same with covering Travion Henderson out of the backfield. You did sign Devin White, and you have Jamal Adams playing the linebacker position. Jamal Adams, this is the perfect place for him. Coming off the bench, being that rotational linebacker. As a safety with Seattle, those last few years, they were tough. But he's an amazing tackler, and he can hit you in space. I think that he can do a very good job in terms of covering Travion Henderson in short yardage situations. If he has to cover a tight end, and it's more than 15 yards down the field, you may be in some trouble. He just doesn't have that range anymore because of the injuries that he did suffer. And be on lookout for him if he does get a lot of snaps in this matchup. Because if he goes against a lineman that's a guard or the center position, he may be in some trouble. It's hard to go out there and fight off those offensive linemen, even for regular linebackers. But for someone that's traditionally playing safety, just be on lookout for that. The rest of the secondary for the Las Vegas Raiders, you have some talent here. Eric Stokes. We'll see if he can step up long term with the Las Vegas Raiders. And you have Darian Porter, who's a rookie. Will you put him in one-on-one situations with Stephon Diggs? I imagine that they will not play much man coverage in this game as we go on. They're going to play some. You don't want to just go out there and play the same coverage over and over again. You're going against elite level talent. But I imagine that the Raiders would not trust their rookie or even Eric Stokes on Stephon Diggs one-on-one the entire game unless you run a bunch of cover one, cover two, have those safeties over the top watching out. In that standpoint, sure. But I'll still mix in a lot of zone in this matchup and force Drake May to make those tight window throws over and over again. And you can even fool him in certain situations and flip your defensive coverages, which Patrick Graham has done in the past. With all that being said, this is a low-key matchup because of the head coaches, Mike Vrabel, Pete Carroll, the offensive coordinators, and Chip Kelly and Josh McDaniels. I do believe that the Raiders will win this game 23-17. I'm going with the veteranship with Pete Carroll and the same with Geno Smith. Yes, Geno Smith is learning a brand new offense, but he's a veteran. Drake May is learning a brand new offense as well, and you have so many free agents on your roster. It usually takes time for those players to gel together. But I do believe that the Patriots are going to be a hard team to beat this entire season, and the same with the Las Vegas Raiders. But let me know in the comment section below, who do you have winning this game? The Raiders or the Patriots? If you're new to the channel, hit the subscribe button. If you like the video, hit the like button. Most importantly, I want each and every last one of you guys stay safe, stay positive. Thanks for the video, guys. God bless. Peace.